Okay, so these day two notes, what they have on here, they have the postulates and the theorems as kind of a review. All right. So remember yesterday we talked about the same side interior angles postulate, where that means we have, when we're on the same side of the transversal, those two end up adding up to be 180 degrees. We also have the alternate interior angles theorem, where if we're in between those two parallel lines, we are on opposite sides of the transversal, and those angles end up being congruent. This keeps doing this. Let's try that. Now we're on the corresponding angles theorem, where we have angle 1 and angle 2 end up being congruent also, and they are on the same side as well. Then the last one we have is alternate exterior angles theorem, where we have all opposite sides of the transversal, those end up being congruent. Okay, so that's just a little review from yesterday. Now let's take a look at example 1. Today we're going to add a little bit of algebra to these rules, okay? So looking at the first one, we have classify the angle pair, solve for x and both angle measures. All right, so in this case, we see that we have two parallel lines. We have angle 1 and angle 2. They're telling me that angle 1 is 14x plus 7, and angle 2 is 10x plus 5. Now, they're inside, so these end up being same side interior angles. Since they are same side interior angles, that means that the sum is equal to 180 degrees. So I'm going to write this out. So I'm going to have 10x plus 5 equals 14x plus 7. And I'm going to solve from here. Oh, wait, hold on. Made a mistake. No one caught me on it? I just said it was equal to 180. Sorry, it's going to be 10x plus 5 plus 14x plus 7 equals 180. No one caught me on it. I'm shocked. I said it was equal to 180, and I said them equal to each other. All right. From here, I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have a 10x and a 14x. This will be 24x. I'm going to add this 5 and the 7, leaving me with plus 12 equals 180. I will then subtract the 12 from each side. This leaves me with 24x equals 168. And then last but not least, I'm going to divide both sides by 24. So I'm getting x is equal to 7. Now, they want to know, they said, solve for x and both angle measures. So that means I need to take this 7 and substitute it into each, because these are not congruent. They're supplementary. So I'm going to add that back into angle 2. So the measure of angle 2 is going to equal 10 times 7 plus 5. And the measure of angle 1 is going to equal 14 times 7 plus 7. This top one gives you 105. This bottom one gives you 75. Do those two add up to 180? What do you guys think? Since they add up to 180, we know we did it correctly. Questions on this? All right. Is anybody still writing? I do want to clear it out so I can work on number 2. Okay. Let's take a look at number 2. So it says classify the angle pair. What kind of angles do I have here? Who could tell me? Alternate interior angles. These are alternate interior angles. We know alternate interior angles are what? Supplementary or congruent? Who remembers? It's right at the top on that little chart. It tells you. Who knows? Are they congruent or are they supplementary? They're congruent. Very good. All right. So since they are congruent, I'm going to have, I have here the measure of angle 1, which is x plus 40. And the measure of angle 2 is 2x plus 10. These two are, I'm going to set them equal to each other. This will be x plus 40 equals 2x plus 10. From here, I'm going to subtract 40 from each side. And that means I'm going to have to subtract a 2x from each side. This leaves me with a negative x equals negative 30. I can divide by negative 1, so I get x is equal to 30. So there's my x value. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do what with it? Who can tell me? They want you to solve for x, then both angle measures. So I'm taking this 30 and doing what? If I'm not here, who's in my place? Yeah, I'm going to substitute it in. I'm going to substitute in this first one. So this will be 30 plus 40, which gives me 70. And this gives me 2 times 30 plus 10, which gives me 70. So I get that the measure of angle 1 equals 70 degrees and the measure of angle 2 equals 70 degrees. Questions on this? Why don't you guys try that bottom one real quick? I'll give you a couple of minutes. Yes. Good job. All right. Show of hands, who's still working on this one? All right. Can someone give me the answer? Go ahead. X equals 7. Very good. So we get x equals 7 here. Does anybody need to see this? Yeah? Okay. So here, remember, these are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles end up being congruent. So in this case, I'm going to have 11x minus 2 equals 75. I'm going to add the 2 to each side, leave me with 11x equals 77. Divide by 11, I get x is equal to 7. Any questions? Anything I can address before we move on to the next page? All right, flip it over. All right. For this example, we have 3 parallel lines. S, T, and U are parallel. How do I know that they are parallel? Who could tell me? What's the key factor here that tells me, yep, these are parallel, no problems? The clue is on the picture. The what? The lines, what do they each contain? One more time, I'm sorry. Do you guys remember from yesterday? I included something. I said, hey guys, this is how you note parallel lines. Go ahead. Perfect. The arrows. You see how these 3 arrows are going in that same direction? These what? Not the ones that represent the line, but the ones underneath it. Those show that these are parallel. So they're asking you to list all angles congruent to 1. So here is angle 1. Now I know angle 3 is going to be congruent by the vertical angles theorem. So that's the first one. Now if I look at this and I look at corresponding angles, I see that 1 and 5 would be congruent by corresponding angles. So 5 would also be congruent. And then 3 and 7 would also be congruent by corresponding angles. So this guy and that guy. Now that takes care of this set of parallel lines. But if I look here and I look at these 2 inner ones, or I can skip the inner one and look at the 2 outer ones, it does not matter. I see that I have 5 is corresponding with 9. So angle 9 is going to be congruent with angle 5, which is also congruent with angle 1. And then just by vertical angles theorem, I have angle 11. So everything in purple are all congruent. Okay? Now I want to do the supplementary one with you. I know it says you try it, but I want to do it with you guys. Now remember, those supplementary ones are going to be kind of internal and external, okay? So list everything that is supplementary to 6. So here is the angle in question, okay? In this case, I'm going to look, angle 7 definitely is. They're a linear pair. Angle 5 is also, that's a linear pair as well. Now, 6 is congruent with 2, so that means it is also going to be supplementary to 1. So angle 1 is also another one. And if 7 is supplementary to 6, and 7 and 3 are congruent, that means angle 3 is another one that is also supplementary. Now looking at the last kind of grouping over here, we see that 6 and 9 are same side interior angles, so angle 9 would also be supplementary. And then again, if we used corresponding angles, or 9 is congruent with 11 by vertical angles, we would also see that angle 11 is supplementary. So you have a total of 6 angles that are supplementary to 6 with 3 parallel lines. Questions on that? Anybody have anything for me so far? You doing okay? Anybody still writing? Okay. Let's take a look at these examples. It says, use the following diagram to answer A through D. Given X and T are parallel, so I'm going to mark those with the arrows so that this way I know that they're parallel. And K is parallel to W, so this guy and this guy are also parallel, which means all four of those angle rules apply. Decide whether each below is true or false. If it is false, then fix it so it is true. So if we take a look at angle 1 and angle 5, they're saying angle 1 is congruent to angle 5 by corresponding angles. Well, let's take a look. Here's angle 1. Here's angle 5. So if we're looking at the parallel lines of K and W with T as the transversal, is that true? Would those two be congruent? And would they be corresponding? Yes, so this is true. Now let's take a look at 8 and 10. So they're saying 8 is congruent to 10. So here is 10. Here is 8. And what we're saying here is that X and T are the parallel lines with W as that transversal. So would these be alternate interior angles? Yes or no? Absolutely. So that is true as well. Now we're going to look at 2 and 4 next. So they're saying 2 is congruent to 4 because of corresponding angles theorem. Is that true or is that false? That's false. Why? What should it be? It's not alternate interior. Go ahead. Vertical angle theorem. So this one's false. And we're going to cross this out and put vertical angles theorem. All right, let's take a look at 6. Or I'm sorry, letter D. Sorry. Angle 3, here's angle 3, is congruent with angle 6. Is that true or is that false? And they're saying by same side interior angles, Pasha. Go ahead. It's false. Why? Very good. So we're going to replace this with angle 3 is supplementary. To angle 6. There we go. All right, so use the same diagram. I want you guys to try the next one. I'll give you a minute. Okay, it says you try it. Angle 12 is congruent to angle 13 because of corresponding angles theorem. Would that be true or would that be false? If it's false, make it true. I'll give you a minute. Okay, so believe it or not, I can spell in sign language. And I know what happens when you put that nice little symbol you did there.
Tell me, it's like the only thing I know.
Let me put it to you this way. Let's stop with the sign language, okay? Because I got a cousin who's deaf, so I do know some of it. Okay? All right. So angle 12 is congruent to angle 13 because of the corresponding angles theorem. Is that true or is that false? So again, if we take a peek, here is angle 12. Here is angle 13. So is it true or is it false? True. All right. Last few examples. All right, so this says the measure of angle 14 equals 2x plus 10, and the measure of angle 10 equals 3x plus 20. Classify the angle pair. Find x and the measure of both angles. So we are given in this case that x is parallel to t and k is parallel to w, just like above. So in this case, 2x plus 10 is 14. So that's right here, 2x plus 10. And then we also have the measure of angle 10, which is 3x plus 20. All right, so we're looking at these two angles. So if these are the parallel lines, this is the transversal. What kind of angles do I have here? Which ones? Alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, or corresponding? So we're looking at it right here and right here. What we got? Go ahead. I'm sorry? They're supplementary, so they're same side. So these are same side interior. All right. So that means we're gonna have 2x plus 10 plus 3x plus 20 equals 180. Combine my like terms. I have 5x plus 30 equals 180. Subtract the 30. That gives me 5x equals 150. Divide by 5, I get x is equal to 30. Okay? They want us to find the measure of both angles. So I'm going to have for 14, 2 times 30 plus 10, which gives me 70. And then I'm going to have 3 times 30 plus 20, which leaves me with 110. Why don't you guys give the bottom one a shot? All right, who's still working on this one? All right, what we get as our answer? Someone tell me what's the measure of angle 15 and then the measure of angle, was it 2? Yeah. So what's the measure of angle 15 here? They would be congruent, so you only got to give me one. What'd you get? 147? Yeah, that's correct. Does anybody need to see this one? All right. Hop on Delta Math. Be careful though. Remember, some of those are teacher generated problems, so you only get like 2 attempts. Take your time with it, okay? But then there's others where you can refresh. Go ahead. Those of you watching at home, have a great day.